Hi friends, this is Caitlin and I wanted to wish you all a very happy Halloween. I'm bringing you a bonus video today featuring this Honeybee Stamps coffee cup gift card die set and some adorable stamped images from Purple Onion Designs named Trouble and Spook by Stacey Yacula. I've been loving this die set from Honeybee Stamps for so long, and I was finally able to add it to my collection. And when I first saw the size of the little circle logo, instantly this little bat named Trouble from Purple Onions Designs flew into my head. He is the perfect size. He's technically a little big, but he is the perfect size for this coffee cup logo section, and he is so stinking adorable. So I knew I wanted to use him, and I decided to add in some other stamps on the inside to make my little gift card area a little more fun. And because I knew that my stamped image was going to be fussy cut and he'd be a little bit bigger, I grabbed a slightly larger circle die from my stash of just another circle stackable die set that I have. So that way, that's what that little orange scrap paper is going to be for. And then I'm just going to cut the little white logo out of white here in a minute. These are all the pieces to the card, and it's so easy to use. So I'm cutting a full sheet of my card out of just plain white cardstock of that coffee cup. And then I'm going to cut the cup part, each section, out of the green. And this is good because you can use the regular 6x6 paper for this, and you just run it through twice, one in each direction, because you're going to be cutting those pieces apart anyway, so that you just have the actual solid cup pieces. You don't need the lid, you don't need the fold, and we're just going to adhere those onto our white cardstock base later. And I'm actually going to be adding in a lawn fawn die that makes little tabs to hold a gift card inside of this. So I'm not adhering anything yet. I'm just holding everything up to my base to make sure that it's looking the way I want it to. And I'm going to end up die cutting everything first and then adhering it all later once we have everything together. It's kind of like in cooking, right? When you get all of your ingredients in your little dishes ready to go before you start making. Yeah, it's like the same thing, right? I forgot to mention that all of these adorable pattern papers are from Doodlebug Designs Happy Haunting 6x6 set. I think that all these little patterns go together so well, and because they're kind of that tone on tone, or the patterns are really small, they work really great for something like this where you want them to all go together and nothing to kind of steal the spotlight. They're so adorable. I'm so glad that I got my hands on these. So I cut my little belly band there out of the purple skull and crossbones paper, and I'm just going to go through and burnish all the folds with my bone folder. And then I'm going to run my lid over there on the left through twice with just plain white cardstock so that I have one for the front and one for the back, as well as that little circle logo piece I'm going to cut out of white as well. And next I'm going to go in with the Lawn Fawn gift card tab die, and this is going to just make those two little semicircles that help hold the gift card in place so it's not shaking around in my card, even though the belly band technically holds it and you don't need it. I just thought it was a cute added touch, and I already had this die, so it seemed like a perfect fit. And you can see I'm just testing it out with a Michael's gift card that I had in my purse. But it's perfect and I absolutely love it. And I decided that since it's going to be opening up like that, I wanted to add some sentiments to the inside so it looks like a proper card. So I grabbed this Happy Halloween sentiment also from Purple Onion Designs, and I just added a tiny bit of tape runner to the back so I could mount it onto my clear acrylic block. And I inked it up with a new Villainous Potion oxide ink. I'm absolutely obsessed with this color right now. I haven't even really gotten to play with it. I haven't ink blended with it, but I've just been using it for stamping sentiments and the insides of cards. And you can see I did that little owl. His name is Spook, and he's dressed like a vampire, and he's just so sweet. And then I also had this tiny little boo sentiment that I thought would be cute to put at the top part where the lid flips up as like a little surprise. Like the lid just wants to scare you a little extra for Halloween. So I thought it was so cute, and that Villainous Potion matches with the purple cardstock that I use for that belly band so well, and it really helps to tie in everything together. I love it so much. So now I'm going to go through and start adhering everything. I closed up that belly band with just a tiny bit of glue and set it aside to dry. And then for the cup part, you can see I'm avoiding those semicircles for the gift card tabs. You want to make sure you don't glue those down, otherwise you won't be able to get the gift card into those slots. But besides that, I just kind of went around with my liquid glue everywhere else, and that way I had time to kind of shift it and make sure that the cup was lined up and everything was covered the way I wanted it to be. I started to glue down my lid, and then I remembered I was going to color them in with some Copic, so I held off on that. And I'm putting on the other side of the cup. When you fold these, you can kind of see the little white crease at the bottom, but it really doesn't bother me at all that you can see that. And then it was time to glue down our little logo to our belly band. So I glued the larger orange circle down first, and then the white circle. And then we'll come back to this once our little trouble bat is all colored in, and add him to the top. I did a little test fit just to make sure that everything was laying the way I wanted it to, and then it was time to break out those Copic markers. So I'm starting off with my coffee cup lids, and with this I didn't want to get overly detailed. I just wanted to add in some shadows to help give them a little dimension and kind of make them look a little more realistic. So I'm going in adding shadows in on either side, and also leaving a tiny bit of a highlight on the very outermost edge, just because that's where the light would be kind of reflecting and bouncing off if it was really a round item. And as always, all of the marker colors and any of the dies or stamps that I'm using today will be linked in the description box below for you when I can, and definitely all listed out for you with exact shades. This little trouble bat is so adorable, and he is pretty tiny, so I'm going in with the lightest pressure I can to kind of keep control over my marker and make sure that my shadows don't get away from me. You could always go in and work from your lightest to your darkest, but just out of habit now, I tend to go in with my darkest markers first and just try to really rein myself in with the amount of ink I'm putting down. And I wanted him to be a little black bat with his little black witch hat, and then I'm going to tie in some of the fun green, orange, and purple colors into his little accessories. By the way, I have to throw it out there, I just got my nails redone the other day and I'm absolutely loving them. I think they look so pretty in the video. They look so pretty in real life. I got them trimmed down so that I can actually type, because the ones I had on before, I don't know who I thought I was, but they were way too long and I could not function at work. I literally couldn't type on my computer, which is a huge problem because that is my day job. So, but these ones are great and I'm absolutely loving them, and they're still fall enough to help get me through the start of November, because I don't know about you, but I am not ready for October to be over yet. I love Halloween, but the saddest part is it means that the next day isn't spooky season anymore. Something important with these tiny little critters is to make sure that you're keeping their faces light enough that you're not losing any of the definition or detail in their little expressions. And with something like this, I definitely tried to keep it lighter on his face, but my backup plan was also to go in at the end with a black marker and just reinforce his eyes and his nose. So I also went in with some orange markers for the pumpkin, a tiny hint of green for the star at the top of his hat, and now I'm going in with some purples just to add some color to that band around his hat, and that way he ties in perfectly with the rest of our little card theme. So now you can see I'm going in with that tiny detail black marker and also adding in the little white highlights to his eyes and the pumpkin's eyes, just because it's so cute. They're so cute. And then adding in glue, I put a little bit more than I was planning to on that little star, so I just tapped some off with my finger, and that way it wouldn't seep out of the edges, and then pressed him into place, and I think he just makes the sweetest little logo. So I set an acrylic block on top of them just to help glue everything down and hold it nice and flat, and then I'm adding in my coffee lids, and you can see that little bit of shading really just helps to liven them up and help them look more realistic, and you don't really have to overthink it. It's not exact. It's just a little bit of shading so that everything kind of sits well together. Nothing looks flat or out of place. This project came together so quickly and easily, and I definitely want to make more of these gift card holders before Christmas. I did just make a purchase from the new Purple Onion Stacey Yacula Christmas release, so maybe there'll have to be a part 2 Christmas version of this card to come. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. I hope you have an amazing week and a great Halloween. Thank you so much again, and happy crafting.